how do I have the conversation with my teen daughter? She's 15, about the fact that I have no idea who her father is.
Oh, boy. Tell me about it.
Long story short, I am a child of trauma. Both my parents were drug addicts, majority of my beginning life until about age 30. As such, I, found validation and comfort in intimacy with lots of people. And I wasn't necessarily caring so much about safety or anything like that. And so so that's kind of how I was living my life. And I found out I was pregnant very dramatically as well. I was sick for a long time and couldn't figure out what I was sick from, and went to my doctor, and he sent me to get a CT scan. And guess what they found on the CT scan? And it was very traumatic. So the doctor comes rushing in like, hey, you don't have cancer, but you are well past your first trimester. And I started freaking out and everything, and then went to an actual doctor to get everything checked out. And it turns out she was already 6 months pregnant. I mean, I was 6 months pregnant. She was already 6 months along.
You got a CT scan before they give you a pregnancy test?
They, my primary, I was continuing to have my periods. It just really wasn't even something that was even on my radar, and my doctor just never, I did. And so, I went back to him first and he thought it was food poisoning, and then he thought it was acid reflux. And
I think they've given me pregnancy tests at the ER before. I thought they just gave you every person who walks in a pregnancy test, but maybe just not in your world. All right, so does your 15-year-old know, quote unquote, a dad? Is there a man in her life that she calls dad, or have you been raising her as a single mom?
I've been raising her as a single mom. She does have a male role model. I do have a son who now is 28. Okay. So she has had a positive male figure in her life, but not a dad. And they do not have any type of dad relationship at all.
Okay. Tell me about your fear or what you're nervous about, or tell me why you're calling.
I'm calling because I just don't even know what to say. I mean, first of all, I have so much shame.
Okay.
So much shame.
Can I interrupt you right here?
Sure.
That ends today. And let me tell you why. I'm hearing a girl, not a woman right now. I'm hearing a girl who survived. And if you could go back and talk to 12, 13, 14, 17, 19-year-old you would grab that girl and hug her so tight and say, I got you. And there was nobody there for you. So I'm going to say this politely, but not very politely. How dare you judge teenage you? That girl survived. And she survived in unhealthy ways, fair. But that shame, man, you made it. If I've got shame on anybody, it's mom and dad, who, by the way, had their own demons, right?
Right. I mean, I've forgiven them. I've done
No, but you haven't forgiven you.
That's really hard because I was an adult and I knew what I was doing, and I just, it was about
survived.
Self-medicating, basically.
Yes. Yes. And what picture did you have in front of you? Drugs.
In terms of
alcohol, abuse. Yeah. That's the roadmap you were handed for what to do when life feels really heavy and you feel disconnected from the people who are supposed to love you and give you connection the most. So yes, you're an adult. Yes, you got to be responsible for your actions. And by the way, you have been. You raised an amazing 15-year-old girl, right?
Yeah.
You've been responsible. But I'm not going to beat up a 24-year-old or a 22-year-old for listening to her screaming body saying, I need somebody to connect with. and doing it in unhealthy ways because I didn't have unhealthy patterns. I didn't have any healthy patterns in front of me. Because listen, if I'm you, I'm going to sit down with my 15-year-old daughter and say, I've got to tell you about my life. And this is going to be hard to hear, but it brings me to this moment. And your daughter's 15. She knows a lot and she feels a lot, right? I have a 15-year-old. They're way smarter than I was at 15.
I hear what you're saying, but it's hard to feel it because
I know.
she's just so young. Like, she's not even, like, I feel when I was 15, I was so much further ahead in life than she was.
You had to be. You had no adults.
Yeah.
You had to be. You didn't know where your food was going to come from. You didn't know what other strange guy was going to come walking through your house. You grew up way too fast. And that's not something to be ashamed of. I'm telling you right now, I don't lie on this show. I'll be the first to say I screwed up. I'll be the first to say I don't know. I am hearing an incredibly brave and strong woman who had a whole bunch of other options other than I'm going to raise this young girl as my own. And you've scratched and clawed, and now you have what sounds like an amazing 15-year-old kid. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
She is pretty amazing.
Are you worried about her being sexually active?
No, definitely not.
You're the worried the opposite? You're like, you need to hold hands with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of the opposite. She's 15 and she's into anime and Yu-Gi-Oh! And, that type of stuff. But
has she asked you about her dad?
I want to say twice in her lifetime she's asked kind of a question. One time she asked, do I have a dad? And I basically, anytime she's asked a question, I've just sidestepped it.
All right, and here's what she gets from that. She gets that mom doesn't think I can handle it. Mom's keeping secrets from me, so there must be something wrong with me. And by the way, when she's 7, that's a lot to handle. 15, you better believe it. It's past time.
I've been kicking the can down the road.
That's right.
Because I just don't have any answers to give her.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have the most important answer, which is, I don't know. The truth. You have the truth. I don't know who he is. I made some choices that I'm not proud of in an effort to survive. And I have scratched and clawed to give you a life that I didn't have, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job. But here's the truth. I don't know who your dad is. I was with multiple people during that time. I'm not proud of it. If I could go back and change it, I would, but I wouldn't have you, and I wouldn't change that. And I'll answer any question you got. But there's an opportunity that y'all walk away from this where your daughter's both curious about who her dad is. And by the way, she's going to get 23andMe. She's going to go down every avenue, try to figure out who he is. And she's going to have a sense that my mom is 1,000 times stronger than I knew her to be. Which makes you way safer of a parent for her.
I just don't want her to look at me differently,
I know. But honestly, that's you judging you, not her. And I would ask you, don't put your judgment of yourself onto your 15-year-old little girl. Because right now she's judging herself, wondering what is so bad about me that mom won't even tell me who dad is.
Oh, God.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is how it just repeats itself and it repeats itself.
Oh, God. The conversation's going to be so hard.
Yeah. And here's how I would recommend. I'd recommend you even write it out. Write it down and tell your daughter you want to read her a story. And be honest and say, I have tried to shield you and protect you from this story because I'm scared about how you're going to judge me. I don't want you to think evil and bad about grandma, about granddad. But I also think in an effort to protect you and shield you from all of this, I've also made you feel a little bit crazy. Because 15-year-olds are real perceptive. They have to be. That's how they survive. And maybe you say, I'm going to read this out loud, and then I want us to go for a walk. And while we're going for a walk, I want you to think of all the questions you have. And then we're going to circle back and we're going to talk about it. And by the way, this won't be a one and done thing. This will be you cracking open the door or blowing the door wide open, one of the two. And then letting her know, I will answer any question you ever come to me with. I won't, not graphically, right? I'm not going to go into graphic detail, but I'll answer any question you got. And here's how she's going to look at you. Sure, she's 15, for God's sakes, right? There's a reason we don't let 15-year-olds buy beer. Who knows how they're going to react? Yeah. But ultimately, the meta lesson here over time will be, my mom has seen everything. So there's nothing I'm going to run into in the world that she hasn't been through herself. My mother always tells me the truth. And so when you say I'm worried about how she's going to look at me, I want you to consider she might look at you as the single safest person she's ever known.
God, that sounds so hard to live up to.
I know.
Oh, God.
I know. But the shame ends with this call. Not beating up, surviving me anymore.
Yeah. I have to forgive myself, but it's really hard to do that.
None of this will be easy. All of this will happen in time. You have a choice as to whether you participate in what happens next or not. But I've dealt with a lot of 18-year-olds who walked out of mom and dad's house and never went back because it wasn't a safe place to go. It wasn't a trustworthy place to go. And I don't want that to be your story too.